Idaho Foodbank Backpack Buddies. That's what we are in need of today. We are asking you to step up and donate $25 a month for the next 12 months. That makes you an official backpack buddy and also puts you in for our hourly incentives. This hour, you could win 4 tickets for 2 people. So 2 tickets Friday night, 2 tickets Saturday night for the Huckleberry Jam at Tamarack Resort next Friday and Saturday, the 14th and 15th. We're also going to provide camping. You'll get the ultimate summer experience with a gorgeous mountain backdrop at Tamarack. You can get all the details about that experience on our website at mix106radio.com. Right now in the studio with us this morning is Karen Vauk with the Idaho Foodbank CEO and President. And we were just talking earlier this morning, and we were so glad that you're coming in because you can help us explain the high rating that the Idaho Foodbank gets. 93% of donations go to the programs and services for the Idaho Foodbank. Now, who ranks that? What is the program that does that?
It's called Charity Navigator, which is it's a national organization that looks at all the nonprofits that turn in their information to be evaluated. It's kind of like the good seal of approval.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Well, it's amazing to see.
Oh, you're fine.
It's amazing to see some of those charities who are quote unquote claiming to raise money, you know, for needy people. That's the money for less than 40%. I've seen the list. Less than 40% of the money raised actually goes to the people that they say that they're raising the money for. The rest goes for, you know, salaries for people working there. You know, they're supposedly supposed to be nonprofit, but there's a lot of people that are making a profit. And the Idaho Foodbank, that is not the case in any way, shape, or form.
No, it's not, Mike, and thanks for recognizing that. You know, and we're really focused on that, and we're very proud of that rating because that is our mission. And we take that very seriously.
It makes a big difference to a lot. It's one thing that makes a big difference to me when, you know, when I see that, you know, I and Kate and I have talked about this all morning long. The fact that 93% of each dollar goes, you know, to the actual kids who really need it. There's only 7% that's going to run the overhead for the entire program.
Right, and that's actually something we track on a monthly basis internally. We keep track of where our spending is going and how we're allocating those funds. And I'm not the only one who tracks it. Our whole team does. So everyone is very aware and very focused on how we're utilizing those resources.
And with the Idaho Foodbank, too, $1 equals 4 meals, correct? So correct. You guys work with so many people throughout Idaho. You know, I was just out at Simplot the other night at the plant, and we were talking about the Idaho Foodbank, and they were like, oh, yeah, we work with them so closely for all of that, and you work with the farmers and the growers, and you know, the $1 that someone donates, which we will not turn away today, that goes so much further with you guys in the relationships that you have. And
that's really how it happens, and I'm glad you're recognizing some of those donors. They're amazing supporters across the state, individuals as well as the corporations, and that's how it works. So we're able to utilize the funds that come in and stretch those dollars because, first of all, we're able to get like bulk food. So we go out and look for the lowest cost food for the backpack program. Nutrition is number 1, cost is number 2. We're not going to compromise nutrition, but we're going to get the lowest cost food. And we can buy that then in bulk. When we bring that in, we're utilizing volunteers. And Kate, I know you've been a part of, the build.
I know. Those builds are hard to get in on now. You have so many people wanting to build the backpacks.
And that's what makes all of this work because we get in truckloads of the bulk product.
The warehouse at the Idaho Foodbank, it's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But without the volunteers to come in and do that, we'd have to pay labor and then the cost would just go up. So it's the volunteers. And then in the distribution of the backpacks, we're able to work with the schools, work with the communities to help get those backpacks distributed. So again, that helps us keep the cost down and the focus on getting the food to the children.
And you guys work so closely with the school counselors. And
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an amazing program in what you can do. And like you were saying, you know, I know we'll be talking with the dietitian here a little bit later on today and get into more detail about it. But you have to work with the school guidelines of what needs to be provided for these kids. And then we also have to take into account the weight.
Correct.
You're not putting in like 7 cans of beans and being like, this will feed you for the weekend. Well, yeah, it will, but some little 5-year-olds dragging their backpack home, and they won't eat it.
Right.
You guys
are food that the child will eat. I always joke with our dietitian Lisa about how it's kind of like handing her a Rubik's Cube and saying, here, figure this out. because we've got to first focus on the nutrition. We've got to consider the cost of the food. We've got to consider the weight of the food, and then that they'll eat it. And we survey the kids every year and ask them,
I sat in on one of your focus groups, with Jackie, and they laid out the entire backpack, and then they had the kids try it, and this kid's like, yeah, no, I don't like this one. Well, why is that? Is it the texture? Is it the taste? You know, and I think they figured out one of those, like, you know, squirty, like, Go-Gurt thing.
Yes.
One of the, they were like, this hasn't been a big seller for us. Right. And so they're like, it's out. Right. You guys really listen to the kids.
We do. And we also get input from the parents.
Yeah.
To find out, is this working for your family? Or are there any things that we could be changing to make the program more effective for you? Yeah.
So let's talk about the community as a whole. Are you seeing, like, there's so much more need than we ever have before?
Yeah, you know, there's a perception that with the recession behind us, things are better, and there aren't going to be as many people in need. In fact, we've not seen a decrease in the number of families in need. Now, there's a bright spot in the story that I like to tell. When we look at those who are in need, more people are employed than 4 or 5 years ago. That's the good part of the story. And so,
which is still sad when you consider they're employed and they still can't, you know, have enough money to make the money stretch for their kids to eat.
And that's the gap that we're still seeing, is that it's nice that they've got jobs again, but they're still not able to make ends meet, and so they're still coming for support.
I saw a story on Channel 7 last night that said the average rent in Idaho is going up from like $1,000 to $1,600 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment, because we don't have enough apartments now. And I know they're building 3 different apartment buildings in Garden City, which will help once, you know, it's the whole supply and demand thing. But for the meantime, rent's going up.
Housing costs, food costs, we have to look at the cost of living, and having a job is great. But if those other costs are going up, there's still a gap there for so many families.
How about this? Hey, I finally got a job after 6 months of being laid off, but I'm driving 55 miles one way to get there.
Right.
You know, we've got families that are commuting from, you know, Wilder into Boise or Mountain Home to Ontario, and these people that are then, they're spending the money that they are finally making and putting it back into gas, and then they can't feed their family.
Right, and there are many who are still trying to recover from the time that they were unemployed. Just like you talked to Serena.
You mean the bills I stopped paying for 5 years because of the recession I actually have to catch up on?
Right.
Yeah. So people think that. They're like, oh, but you have a job now. Yeah, and I'm going to play catch up for the next 7 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's something we knew, and you can track that kind of data. Coming out of a recession takes longer for that recovery than going into the recession, and so we're prepared for that and taking some time. But I think it's important to share that with the public, because it's not common for everybody to understand.
Karen, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. We absolutely love the Idaho Food Bank and all that you do. So,
well, thank you. And let me say happy anniversary.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, 14 years.
That's
oh no,
special.
It's crazy. Longest relationship in my life. Oh my gosh. All right, Karen, President and CEO with the Idaho Food Bank. Again, if you'd like to donate, 275-8806 or online at mix106radio.com.
Keep in mind, we want 10 people to donate right now, because we do have somebody who has promised that for each of the next 10 people who donate, they are also going to donate 10 times. So $3,000 will turn into $6,000 between you and him. So right now, if you haven't had a chance to donate, now would be the perfect time to do it, because your money is going to be double, because he has promised to match the next 10 people.
Amazing.
That's just absolutely crazy.
Our angel in the wings.
Yep. If you want to get your donation in to become a backpack buddy before 10 o'clock so that you can get that incentive, you now have 14 minutes to get that in.
Yeah. Right now.